Alright, welcome back everyone to another video of my Unreal super mega cool tutorial series where we cover pretty much everything Unreal in the multiplayer and whatnot. Today we are gonna be doing something cool that I kind of have been looking forward to. I feel like I'm missing a lot of tutorials on this. Like when I googled and when I was new, I always got annoyed that I couldn't find any good sources about this, so hopefully I can actually help some people now. But we're gonna be talking camera, because the standard third-person camera actually is pretty shitty. It's very boring. So if you're using the standard third-person camera out of the box in your game, please rethink your choices. Your life choices. No, it's not that horrible. It's a camera, it works, but it's not very dynamic. It's not moving at all. So we're gonna be adding, I'm gonna show you how to, firstly we're gonna just talk some camera lag, which is a built-in function. I think the camera lag works fine. That's pretty much it. I'm also gonna show you what I do. I do a custom camera lag pretty much. I'm going to show you how to do that because it gives you a little bit more control, in my opinion. Nothing you have to do. And also, if we have time, depending on how long the video gets, I'm probably gonna do the Dark Souls rotation of the camera. So when you move, as you can see now in Dark Souls, when you go like this, your screen should be moving like this. I'm gonna show you. No, fuck it. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna show you. So as you can see in my other project, I'm just pressing the button. This is A, basically, only A, but the guy rotates anyway. And D, see, the camera rotates. So that's probably what we're gonna add as well, if we have time. We'll see how far it gets. I might do the Dark Souls camera thing in the next video as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Camera lag, super easy. In your character, you have your camera. You can always see your camera here. So even if you're new to the Unreal, you probably have seen the camera before. But what you might not have seen is the camera boom, which is here. And the camera boom is basically how far away your camera is from your character. And the reason you want to use the target arm length of the camera boom instead of this, just moving your camera, is because if you just move your camera and not your camera boom, as you can see it's still there, it's gonna be weird in relation to your, as you can see, it's gonna be very weird in relation to your camera. So as you can see in here, when I move my camera, it's like it's not centered around the player, if you get what I mean. Sometimes it might be after this effect as well, but yeah, you get the picture. Oh, no, we're never gonna know the defaults. Hope I can control C this. Yeah, perfect. So we got our camera boom. First, what I always do in any project is I increase it a little bit. So 350 or something, because I think the standard one is a little bit too close. So right off the box it looks a little bit better, I think, when you're a little bit more zoomed out. Of course, depending on what you want to do. As you can see, you also have some socket offsets. You have the height. You have the left and right. And you have the, what's this? The zoom. So depending on what you're what kind of game you want to make, maybe you wanna do like a third-person shooter, Resident Evil, where your character is more to the right or left. This is one way to do that, as you can see. Then you would probably zoom in a little bit on the arm length. And yeah, you get the picture. What I usually do as well is I usually increase the height a little bit, just a little bit. Something like this, yeah. Already makes me feel a lot more comfortable. This is looking a little bit better in my eyes, but of course you can set it up however you want to yourself. So yeah, you can play around with the sockets. For the camera lag, which is in my opinion very important for games, I think it looks better just in general with camera lag. So the settings that I usually do is, don't ask me about this, I don't know, just play around with it. 500 something max distance. I probably do them different every time, but as you can see, nothing is happening now. That's probably because of the speed. Actually, why is it not? I feel like it should do more. Yeah, there we go. So basically what the camera lag does is, let me just see so I'm still recording. Yep. So basically what the camera lag does is, as you can see, it's, as it sounds, it's lagging behind the camera, or the camera is lagging behind the movement. So when I move to the right, my character is panned a little bit to the right of the screen, not in the center. And when I go to the left, my character is a little bit to the left of the screen and not in the center. And then when I stop, it takes like half a second for the camera to align. It makes it feel a lot more dynamic. Same goes with moving forward. As you can see, when I'm standing still, it's zoomed in this much. And when I run, it's zoomed out a little bit. And then when I stop, it zooms in. So yeah, that's just a standard camera lag. Works out of, yeah, just set it up however you want to. I do, for the most part, think this is enough. It already feels a lot smoother for me, and already feels a lot better to just play around and walk around with the character. So I do quite like it already. And as you can see, when we walk to the camera, we zoom in. But I'm still gonna show you another way to actually set it up a little bit more customized if you want to. So yeah, I'm gonna show you that. For that, inside of your character, we do need a new function called set camera, maybe custom camera, set camera lag, set custom camera lag. Perfect. So in the meantime, I'm just going to disable camera lag just so you can see the difference. So basically what we want to do here is we want to set the arm. What we're going to do is basically we're just going to set the arm length of the camera boom in relation to speed, basically. So when our speed is slow, we're gonna zoom in, and when it's fast, we're gonna increase the length of the arm. So custom camera lag. In here, I'm probably gonna cheat a little bit here, just to be sure that I'm doing this correctly. Would be awkward otherwise. Basically what you want to do is you want to first get a reference to your speed, and we know how we do that because we do that by default in our animation graph, event graph of our animation blueprint. So from the get pawn owner, we get the vector length of the velocity. That's our speed. So just copy that and go back here. So this return value is our speed. So just to make it clear for you, promote to variable, and we're gonna set the speed here. This is an unnecessary step. You don't need to have a variable and set the speed all the time. You could just drag from here, because setting the variable is actually an action. So it's a little bit slower on performance. But I'm doing it now just to keep it clean so that you can actually follow along what's happening here. So let's start with one branch. If speed is less, and this is gonna look weird now because we don't really have any strafing movement, but when we do strafing movement we will be able to walk backwards, and that means our speed will be minus because we're walking backwards. So the first thing we're gonna do is, if our speed is less than 0, which means we are walking backwards, we are gonna be zooming in a lot. So we're gonna get our camera boom, drag it, from it set target arm length. So if the speed is less than 0, it's true. That's the first check we're gonna do. We're gonna set the target arm length to 250, so we're gonna be even more zoomed in, which means basically when you're backing up, you're gonna be zooming in a lot, so you're gonna see the back basically of your character. And we're gonna add another branch. This one is gonna be if the speed is less than, what's our walk speed? Our walk speed is 160. So if the speed is less than 165, we're gonna set the arm length to, let's do something like 300, just for show. And if it's less than, oh no, sorry, 165, if the speed is less than 165, we are gonna be setting the arm length to 300. And if it's, actually I'm just gonna do some extreme values here just so you can see. But if our speed is less than 165, we're gonna do 100 in target arm length. If it's less than our running speed, which is 487, so if it's less than 490, the arm length is gonna be, so if we're actually running, it's gonna be 300 then. Let's do 300. And the last one, if it's the last one we can actually do is if it's above 500, which is we're sprinting, we are gonna set the target arm length to something like 500, just to have three pretty different values, three strongly different values. So perfect. What else? So that's our function, set custom camera lag. Basically what we want to do is you want to have a function for don't I have, yeah, functions there, custom event. So right click and create a custom event. This one is going to be called set custom camera lag, but before that we're going to call it event because it's not going to be replicated or anything, it's just going to be the event. We need another custom event. Actually, we don't need another custom event. From this event set custom camera lag, we're going to do a set function by timer, set timer by function name. So this is going to be our custom tick. I've done custom ticks in a lot of other videos. After doing some profiling and some performance checking, I realized that I think, I'm not going to swear on it, there are like 1,000 Reddit threads and discussions going on online and everywhere about what's most performant here. We don't want to use the standard tick. We don't want to use, in this case, we don't want to use a timeline because timelines have more startup costs than the timer, the regular timer. And you could, as I've done in my other some of my other videos, just do a delay node of 0. whatever and just go back and loop it, which basically creates a timer. But I realized that this is easier to manage in the long run, looks cleaner, and it's also a little bit better for performance in my opinion. Also easily to control. So every 0.05 seconds I'm gonna loop this function, and the function name is gonna be this set custom camera lag. So that means that every 0.05 seconds we're gonna loop this function. So every 0.05 seconds we're gonna adjust the camera depending on our speed. So it's not depending on your tick, it's depending on your time on this timer, that you can also, with the timer, you can also disable it in certain cases. For instance, you're gonna disable it when you do an attack or something like that, just to prevent the camera from moving around too much. And we need to call the function, and let's call it on begin play. We don't need VR. We don't need, actually we might need gamepad in the future. We don't need a jump. What's this? We don't need a touch, we're not creating a mobile game. Don't I have begin play? Ah, there is, sorry. Event set custom camera lag. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, as you can see, it's working. Very close. Further, and when sprinting, a lot further. Nice, right? So obviously what we need to do is we need to fin terp it. I always like this, rin terp, fin terp, whatever. Fin terping works. So we're gonna create a smoother transition between these different states. So how do we do that? I'm not entirely sure. We fin terp is basically what we do. So fin terp 2. So fin terp, yeah, there's rin terp, fin terp, and vin terp maybe. So basically it's F stands for float, so it's just an interpolation between two float values. That's what F is. Rin terp is interpolation between two rotation values, and vin terp is an interpolation between two vector values. But we are doing floats here, so fin terp is the right one to go. So we're gonna smooth it out. We're gonna need the delta time. Get world delta seconds. Bam. And we are gonna need the current arm length, right? Get target arm length. We are gonna need the current. And the target is gonna be 50. Yeah. And over how many seconds? 1 second, 2 seconds. Let's take 2 seconds. And we're gonna set from that value. So this is where it's getting a bit messy. It's gonna be a lot of lines everywhere. I don't really like it. So you could collapse them to macros or whatever. Or functions. I'm just gonna do like this. Create some space. It's not that horrible. Bum 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 bum. And what was this one? It was 100. So the target is 100. Bum 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 bum. Target is 300. No need to get the reference twice. So I'm just creating a lot of space so you can see what's going on here. And the last one was, what was it? We did 500, right? So that should work. I hope you followed. So basically what the FinTurp does, it takes the current length of the camera boom and moves it to the target length, which is the target 100 over 2 seconds, and updates every delta second.
Hello? Skinkan.
See.
Skinkan.
So it was a little bit long. Let's do 1 second. So this is not really a camera lag. I'm not sure why I named it camera lag. We should probably call it set custom camera zoom is a better name. And for the function, set custom camera because this has nothing to do with lag actually, because we're not lagging, we're just zooming. Okay, now it's not working at all. Interesting. Ah, yeah, it's because of this. Zoom. Don't forget to change the name of the function. So here we are running. When we stop, we are zooming in. And we run, we are zooming out. And the speed is still a little bit slow. So maybe we should update it. Let's do 0.01 actually. Yeah, there we go. Ah, sweet, sweet camera. You see what I'm getting at? Looking a lot better. Let's do back into your function. We're gonna do this one at 250. No, 200 maybe. So you just need to, yeah, it's up to you to experiment with the values. What are we at? 23 minutes. It's pretty good. I think we'll do the Dark Souls movement camera in the next video. So as you can see now, just want to show it off. Here we are when we are standing still. And when we are running, we are zooming out a little bit. And when we are sprinting, we're zooming out a lot. So just play around with it. I think I'm going to go with 300 standard, 400 running. No, 375 running and 500 sprinting. Felt pretty good. So 300 is standard, standing still, but zoom out a little bit when we move, and when we sprint we zoom out a little bit more. Can barely see it. It's very subliminal, so obviously you can do it harder if you want to, but I quite like this. It's good enough for me. So yeah, that's a more dynamic camera. And let's also go back and add the camera lag, enable camera lag as well, which will also add to the effect a little bit. So it's lagging behind and it's gonna work on the sides, sideways. So when we sprint, it's gonna zoom out on the sideways as well. So yeah, there you go. I think this should be the default camera, to be honest. This is so much nicer. Freaking AAA quality. Bam. That's about it for this video. We're gonna do the Dark Souls camera in the next video, I think. But this is so nice. Starting to feel like a game now. Every episode we do, we get closer to something, and every episode we do, it feels nicer and nicer to just move around. Already now it's starting to look and feel pretty nice. Actually, I'm very happy with how it looks for like all of these animations. This is completely free. We made this completely free. Remember that. So yeah, I think it's starting to get somewhere. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.